I'm 69, I'll be 70 in a few months. And my entire life, I've gotten to do work that I love doing. Right now, I can't do anything because I'm on strike, so I can't do any film, Russian or otherwise. I'm not much for blackballing artists. I think it's a bad idea. Makes me sad for artists. It makes me sad for artists in the former Soviet Union, especially, all of whom were essentially kind of cut off from the rest of the world for 80 years. And that makes me sad, and I don't really see the point of that. Other people have other points of view about that. I respect it. But I hope that the last time I worked there, which was with the wonderful filmmaker Anna Malikian, who I like very much and I'm still in contact with, I hope I'll get to work in Russia again. I don't see it happening during this period of time because what I'd like to happen first is for this war to be over. Bob Dylan said in God on Our Side, we learned to hate the Russians all through my whole life. If another war comes, it's them we must fight. To hate them and fear them, to run and to hide. And we don't count the dead when God's on our side. My feeling about war in general is I think summed up best by from the novel of William Faulkner called The Sound and the Fury. And the character says in The Sound and the Fury, no battle is ever won, it is not even fought. The field only reveals to man his own folly and despair, and victory is an illusion of philosophers and fools. I understand all the difficulties in the breakup of the former Soviet Union and all of the resultant mistrust and negative feelings and indeed negative history with the Soviet Union in places like Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and on and on and on. And Americans forget they arouse very similar feelings across the world quite often, which Americans do forget. It's a kind of genius of Americans for forgetting, but not everybody forgets either. So what I would say is I wish serious people would negotiate this to be over. But that doesn't seem to be a strategy of any side. And I was shocked when it started. I remain shocked. I find it heartbreaking and generally unbearable. Of course.
Yes.
Not only responsible, but some I supported, which were probably incredibly destructive and stupid. And I think people are collectively responsible for who governs them if elections are free and fair. And I don't know if they are, to be perfectly honest. I don't know that they are free nor fair. I don't know that the quality of information we get from our media in the world is of remotely sufficient standard on which to base decisions about world affairs, I would posit they absolutely are not of the sufficient standard to base an idea, a concept, an order of the world on what we're told, because much of what we're told is simply not true. Yeah. If the Germans believed what the Nazis said, which obviously they did to some certain extent, some certain big part of them did, large part of them. Well, I don't think that's very different to today. So I think it's very, very difficult to know at all what is true, what is false. I used to think I know. I don't think I knew anything really. The pandemic being the most recent example of utter lies and nonsense and so-called follow the science, as if science distinguished itself in some way during the pandemic, which was, for me, certainly in my lifetime, the biggest shaming of science that ever happened in the history of the world, I would say, at least certainly during my lifetime. I would compare it with Galileo having to say, actually, the Earth is round. Oh no, if you're going to burn me at the stake, never mind, the Earth is flat. This is, I find it appalling, the state of the media, pretty much everywhere, and the people who believe them. Okay, you take this vaccine. Really? What's in it? Oh, you can't know that. When can I know it? Oh, in 77 years. But we'll tell you it's great. We'll tell you it's safe. We'll tell you it walks, it talks, it crawls on its belly like a reptile. It stops the vaccine. It stops the transmission. It stops this. It stops. No, it doesn't, actually. So shut up. Shut up. Go away. Be quiet. And they can't. They'll do it again and again and again. And they're constantly telling you how you should feel, what you should think, what you should do, how you should vote, what to believe. And I don't do it because I don't appreciate it. In, 2003, maybe? 3 or something? And a person there who's a kind of fixer asked me, what do I want to see in Moscow? And I wanted to go to this Socialist Achievement Park, which has now been redone for some years now, which then had fallen on kind of terrible times and was very, very depressing. And I wanted to visit the KGB museum at Lubyanka, and they said, yeah, sure, come in, great. And they had a table about 3 times this long, and it was stacked this high with folders of all the KGB people who died in Afghanistan. It was very interesting. And in the end, were they wrong? That's exactly what happened when we went there.
You really, all the same.
And no difference. For me, I'm pretty okay for deciding what's best for me. I don't feel I need a president's help. I don't need a prime minister's help. I don't need a preacher's help. I think I'll figure it out, thank you. I think to take control, to take possession, to take responsibility for your life is very important. But when people can go around mandating, you want to vote for Joe Blow, go ahead. If you think you love Saddam, go ahead. You love Obama, go ahead. You think they're all night and day and different, you think they're all great people, Okay.
Why not?
I had, there was someone who was a politician that I was very, very fond of and had great, you ask about admiration. That was Václav Havel, and that's it.
Václav Havel.
But of course, he wasn't
He
a
was a-
politician. He
He
was a playwright.
Poet and writer, yes,
Yeah.
and playwright, yes.
The media is corrupt. It's corrupted by advertising money. It's corrupted. Everything in the world is corrupted by ideology. Primarily now. At one time, maybe it was religion. Now it's ideology. They can do what they want. I don't think it's helpful that they do, generally. Generally. Me Too and Black Lives Matter, I think, are very different movements. My feeling at the time about Black Lives Matter was that it would result in getting a lot of black people killed, which it certainly has. And it would create a couple of generations or three of racists, which I think it's well on the way to doing. So that was my attitude and remains so, and many of them are just grifters. Me Too is a whole different thing. I think it's basically was really healthy, because here's the thing. I understand that you people work together, they develop a bond, that bond may become a bond of great feeling, a bond of great depth, it may become a sexual bond, it can be all kinds of things. But the thing about work is, your ability to do your work should never, ever have to include any sexual favor or promise of sexual favor or demand of sexual favor. And that to me is just unconditional. It's a bad idea. Doesn't mean you don't have sex with people you work with sometimes, or it couldn't happen. But to kind of force it to make somebody's job depend on it, I think is disgusting. And his last words, I think, are very telling. Mama, it hurts. I think we're born, it hurts, we die, it hurts, and a lot of times it hurts when we're living. Such is life. If you're lucky like me, I mean staggeringly, astoundingly lucky, you don't feel that as much as people who are not so lucky feel it.
Nice.
But it's part of life.
Yeah.
Hurt, pain, sorrow,
Suffering.
grief, death. These are all very important, integral parts of life. These kind of dark spots on our lungs, which show us and remind us what light is. I still like to work, like to spend time with my family, my children, my granddaughter, my friends. Don't have millions left, but because they're dropping like flies at present. But work and family and friends, really.